Example 2a, we have the equation of 2x squared minus 6x is equal to negative 1. We want to make sure this equation, we want to write this equation in standard form. So we have 2x squared minus 6x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then we're going to use the quadratic formula. But before we do that, we're going to identify A, B, and C. Our A is 2, our B is negative 6, our C is 1. So we have x is equal to negative times negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared minus 4 times 2 times 1 all over 2 times 2. That is positive 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 8 all over 4. And that gives us 6 plus or minus, let's subtract 36 and 8, that gives us 28 over 4. Now we need to find factors of 28, and one of its factors is a perfect square, and that is what, 4 and 7. Take the square root of 4, we have 2. Okay, so our answer for the square root of 28 is 2 square root of 7. Alright, so we have 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 2 over 4. Now only focusing on the numerator and looking at the 6 and then the 2 that's right after the plus minus sign, not the 2 that's under the radical sign. Can you factor out a number? And that should be 28. No, excuse me. That should be 7. I'm sorry. Let's take this again. So go back. We have 6 plus or minus 2. Let's look at the 6 plus or minus 2. Can we factor out? Yes, we can. We can factor out a 2. And then we're left with 3 plus or minus the square root of 7 all over 4. Then we can reduce 2 and 4. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice, and our answer is 3 plus or minus the square root of 7 over 2. Letter B. We have here x is equal to negative 3x squared minus 3. So we want to write our equation in standard form. So what we're going to do here is subtract x to both sides. Now I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let you do it in your work, but I'm going to show you what's going to take place. When you subtract x to both sides, we're going to have 0 is equal to negative 3x squared minus x minus 3. Doesn't matter which side 0 is on, okay, as long as it's equal to 0. So we want to find our A, our B, and our C. Our A is negative 3, our B is negative 1, and our C is negative 3. And we're going to use the quadratic formula to find the solution. Now keep in mind, we can use completing the square. And if this is a quadratic that is factorable, then we will factor. So we have x is equal to negative times negative 1 plus or minus the square root of the quantity of negative 1 squared minus 4 times negative 3 times, that's what, AC, negative 3, all over 2 times negative 3. So we have 1 plus or minus the square root of 1, and then we have 4 times negative 4 times negative 3, that is positive 12, and positive 12 times 3 gives us negative 36 all over 2 times negative 3, that is negative 6. Then we have here 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 35 over negative 6. The square root of negative 5. What will our final answer look like? Because we have that negative here. You would say 1 plus or minus. I'm just only focusing on the square root of negative 35 for right now. That will be I square root of 35 all over negative 6. And there we go.